Welcome to Scaling with Disha, the show that helps online entrepreneurs to scale their business to six figures and beyond without the hustle or the overheads. I'm your host, Disha Waddup, and I'll be here each week to remind you that you can do anything you set your mind to. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Scaling with Disha. Wow, this is going to be awesome. So today we're going to be diving in to systemizing your outreach on Facebook. And this is something I am absolutely passionate about because I don't want you guys wasting time on social media when you can be doing other things in your business, other things that light you up, that get you excited, that jump out of bed feeling in the morning, rather than thinking, oh God, this is what I have to do to make my business a success. We want to set up systems and processes so that you can do this in as quick a time as possible, or outsource it as you scale your business, but outsource it in a way that still is you and your tone of voice and your essence, because you are your business, right? As a service provider, you are your business, and we want to make sure that even when you get to that point of outsourcing some of this systemization things and being active and visible on social media, you are doing it in a way that is in alignment with you and using your tone of voice and not that tone of voice of others. So let's dive straight in. If you haven't listened to us before, if this is a brand new episode here to Scaling with Disha, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're on iTunes, then leave a review, and do make sure that you come back and check out some of the other episodes, because we have shared so much since we launched back in May, and wow, has it been amazing. We've had some brilliant guests, and this is just the start. I've got so much more jam-packed into this podcast that you are definitely going to want to hit the subscribe button. So how do we set up this systemizing process? This is something that I teach inside of my Attract Dream Clients program, which is a program designed to help you sell those four-figure offers, whether you are brand new to the area or just transitioning to a four-figure offer from maybe a pay by the hour or smaller service offers. And this, I'm going to break down the exact steps that we teach inside of Attract Dream Clients. So make sure that you grab a paper and pen, because there is going to be so much value in this episode. It is going to rock. So the first thing to systemizing your outreach is to clear up your list. If you have been around for a while, if you are a already six-figure entrepreneur and you've been around on Facebook for a while, then you may already have 5,000 friends or close to it. 5,000, for those that don't know, is the maximum amount of friends that you can have on your Facebook profile. So if you have close to 5,000 friends, then you're going to want to clean out that list. That means going through and seeing who are no longer your ideal clients, who you will never work with, and who do they look like, and going through and unfriending them. You want to make sure that you've got space for the people that are going to want to work with you. And I know this sounds brutal, unfriending people, but if they are not engaging with your content, if they're not your ideal clients, maybe they've been inactive, which you may find will happen because people go inactive on social media all the time. So make sure that even if they are inactive, you are unfriending them. You want to make sure that your list is super, super clear. Now, of course, I know that some of us still use our Facebook profiles for friends and family. I totally do, and that is okay too. You don't need to delete your friends and family from your profile if you do not wish to. I don't do that. I love that my friends and family are on my profile, and I do share personal stuff, so absolutely fine. But if you are reaching that limit, it's time to start thinking about who it is that you want to work with, and if they are on your profile or not on your profile. Specifically, if you're finding that engagement is a thing. So I've worked with one of my clients who was struggling with engagement on her profile, and one of the key drivers of this was that those people that she was friends with weren't her ideal clients. So no matter what we posted on her profile, nothing was resonating with those people. It just wasn't hitting home. And that is the importance of cleaning up your lists. So you can do this on your Facebook friends. You can do this if you have a Facebook group, then make sure you do this in your Facebook group, because there will be people that drop out of your Facebook group, whether they block you as an admin, that can happen, or they discontinue their Facebook profile, again, can happen. You can see that in the Facebook group settings, and you can remove those people from your groups as well. This is a fantastic process to make sure that you are doing it regularly, because we want nice and clean lists. This is also the process with your email list. If people are not opening your emails or not engaging in your content, you can clean those lists as well, because the more active people we have across our ecosystem, the more people are going to see our content. So that is the same for emails, for Facebook posts, in Facebook groups. The more people that are active, the more people are going to see them. If you have a highly inactive list and people are not clicking or pressing buttons on your posts, on your emails, or anywhere else, then you are not going to be seen, because the less engagement you get, the less people see it. The more engagement you get, the more people will see it, because that's how Facebook algorithms work. That is also how your email systems work. So those that have emails, if you are sending to a list which is dead, that people are not engaging in, then they will be more likely to go into spam than otherwise if they were being engaged with frequently. So make sure you're cleaning up these lists, your Facebook friends, your Facebook groups, and your emails as well. Not only do you want to clean up your Facebook group and the people and the members inside of your Facebook group, but you also want to be cleaning up the Facebook groups that you are an active member in. And I know that some of you won't have done this for a long time, and you'll have hundreds of groups that you are a member of. Make sure that you have a system to be active in those groups, or leave them. There is no need to be an inactive member in hundreds of groups. Do get clear on the groups that you want to be in, and make sure that you're an active participant in those. I'm going to give you systems and processes to do exactly that in this very episode. But first, you need to get rid of those hundreds of groups that you have not been in, that maybe were completely irrelevant to you in the first place, or you have been added to, as we were back in the day, added to so many groups. This should not be the thing anymore, but there are occasions when we find ourselves in groups we do not remember joining. So make sure you clean out those groups as well. The second thing is to optimize your personal profile. If we are doing outreach on Facebook, they're going to come back and be nosy at our profile. It is natural human nature to make sure that you are optimizing what people are going to see on your profile. So that's your header image, that's your bio, that's the content that you share, that's your work information, that's your featured image. There's so much information that you can edit within your personal profile, so that if somebody is not a friend of yours, they can see where to access you, where to get more information, how you want them to connect with you. It is a really, really powerful tool to be able to use. So make sure you have optimized your profile. That is going to be a key driver to systematically bringing people back into your group, your podcast, your circle, whatever ecosystem you are creating. Having an optimized personal profile is going to be the key. Now, there is something to be mindful of here, because it is against Facebook terms and conditions to use your personal profile for business. So we want to make sure that what we're doing when we're using our personal profile is using it as a personal profile as well. We want to make sure that we are building that know, love, and trust factor with our audience, with our followers, with our friends on Facebook, by sharing content that is not only just about business, but also about us as a human being as well. So make sure that you are using your Facebook personal profile effectively and in line with Facebook terms and conditions. So the next step is to have a list, and I recommend 10 Facebook groups that you are active in regularly. This can be where your ideal clients are hanging out. And remember, you have to think of your ideal client as a person before they have started working with you. So whatever it is that they are struggling with, that is where they're going to be. And think about them as a whole person. What else are they interested in? Where else could they be hanging out besides the first Facebook groups that come to mind? Because quite often we think, oh, I want an entrepreneur, so I'm going to go and hang out in an entrepreneur group. Has to have entrepreneur in the name. What about if you want to work with entrepreneurs, but they also like to travel? You could have a look at digital nomad groups, a great cross section of people that will be traveling and are also entrepreneurs. So think about your whole entrepreneurial person, whether they are investing, they might be in investment groups as well. It depends entirely where they are. You want to be where they are and connecting with them then as well. So you want 10 Facebook groups. Then you need a strategy to be in them. So being in those Facebook groups is where the time-consuming things happen, right? This is where we get lost in that tunnel of going through all of those things that we do on Facebook, and we get distracted by those cat videos and all of that special content that you share. Well, I have a system that I teach within Attract Dream Clients that gives you 15 minutes per day per Facebook group that you're in, and you want to be in 2 Facebook groups per day. So 2 Facebook groups per day, 15 minutes in each. You engage, you post, you get out. Set a timer, do it purposefully, use the search function within that Facebook group and search for posts that are specific to you, that you can give actual value, whether you can ask a question and connect with those people on a more deeper, meaningful level. Then you want to post your content and get out. So engage in the group, post your content and get out, and move on to the next group. 15 minutes, engage in content, post your content, and then get out. That is half an hour at max within 2 Facebook groups. Then the next day, you go into a different 2 Facebook groups. You see where I'm going with this? So you engage for half an hour, both Facebook groups, and then you go on to the next one. This means by the span of 5 days, a working week, you will have been inside 10 Facebook groups actively engaging and connecting with humans and building those relationships. A fantastic way to use just half an hour of your time to create and build relationships. So make sure that you are doing this, that you are utilizing those spaces and bringing people back into your circle, into your ecosystem. There are a few different softwares and things that I use to make sure that I am utilizing my time best, and I will go through those on another podcast. Alternatively, join my Facebook group. I do not have enough time to share all of this stuff on this podcast, but I will share more in my Facebook group about some of the softwares that I do use, and I would love to share that with you. So come over and join the community, Scaling with Disha. You can go to dishawadup.com/community and come over and join our Facebook group over there. And I will share more about the softwares that I use. And there are a variety of different softwares that you can use depending on your budgets. And I have used and trialed them all. So definitely just pick my brain when you join the group and ask which ones I use, and I will gladly share those with you. So to recap, we have cleared up our lists, our Facebook friends list, our Facebook group members, our Facebook groups. We've optimized our personal profiles. We now have a list of 10 groups your ideal clients are hanging out in, and we have a strategy to be in them. The last component is the content that you share. Now, it's hard for me to explain the different styles of content that you can share inside of Facebook groups, but I ultimately want to tell you right now in this podcast that you do not want to piss off any admins. You do not want to break any rules. And I'm not about spamming. So the content that you share inside of those groups is not designed to spam. It is certainly not designed to annoy any admins. You are providing value. You are sharing how awesome you are, some of the wins you've had, some of the amazing networking you've done, whether that's client wins, your wins, value posts. You really want to elevate yourself so that you stand out as the expert in your industry, so that people know that you are the person to come to when it comes to X, Y, and Z. So with that content, we are not spamming, we're not being salesy, we're not being sleazy, all of those other misdemeaning terms that people use when they talk about Facebook groups. We are providing value, we're providing amazing customer service and elevating ourselves to make sure that we're standing out as the industry experts. So inside of Attract Dream Clients, I teach a strategy on creating that content specifically using 5 different types of posts. And I use 5 different types of posts to make sure that that is 5 days of the week, right? So we can systematically change that content up. What I want you to do when you are creating this content is to save it. So don't just post a piece of content into one group and never, ever share that piece of content again. Use a content management system to save that content somewhere so that you can reuse it. Because the more you reuse content, the less brain power it takes, the more systems and processes you can start to put in, the more you can outsource to a team member when you start to scale, then you can then systematically grow from there if you have a bank of content. I have a bank of content I've been growing over the past 5 years, where I now use some of that content on a daily basis to go out and systematically share with other Facebook groups, within my own Facebook groups, within email lists, because people don't remember what they've seen 5 minutes ago, let alone 6 months ago. So you can totally reuse content, as long, of course, it is relevant and evergreen. That is the point. Don't save content that is not evergreen. You want to make sure that the content you share is aimed at those people at that time in their lives. And you will start to see that people say, oh my God, that content just spoke to me. Thank you so much. It was like you were inside of my brain. I'm going to do another podcast specifically on content and how to craft the perfect social media posts later on in the year. So do make sure you hit the subscribe button and join us. And if you'd like to join Attract Dream Clients, we have just kicked off our July intake, but you can come over and join the online only version, which should be now available for an amazing discounted price. So do click on the link below and come over and join us on Attract Dream Clients on our online only version. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you next week on Scaling with Disha, where we'll be back with Anna. And Anna is an amazing brand strategist who is going to help us see exactly how to build an iconic brand. And I cannot wait to share this interview with you. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you back here next week. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I really hope that you genuinely learned something from today's episode. If you found this episode useful, then please hit the subscribe button and leave us a review. I personally read each and every one. Until next time, bye.